Hello, today we're going to read one of my favorite books, How Much is a Million by David M. Schwartz, pictures by Stephen Kellogg. How much is a million? Here we have 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. So that's how you write out 1 million. A 1 followed by 6 zeros. Here it is again. How much is a million? A 1 and then 6 zeros. So here we have the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. If 1 million kids climbed onto one another's shoulders, they would be taller than the tallest buildings, higher than the highest mountains, and farther up than airplanes can fly. That's really tall. If you wanted to count from 1 to 1 million, it would take you 23 days. That's also a really long time. And if a goldfish bowl were big enough for 1 million goldfish, it would be large enough to hold a whale. That's really big. Presto, 100 stars. If this book had 1 million tiny stars, it would fill 70 pages. Climb aboard. Do you see those little stars there? Those little tiny white dots? So it says if there were 1 million stars that size in this book, it would take up 70 pages. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of teeny tiny stars. And it says there you have 100,000 stars. If we take this 7-page journey 10 times, we will pass 1 million stars. Let's do that later. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. So you would need to do that 7 pages 10 times to get 1 million stars. How big is a billion? A billion is even larger than 1 million. If 1 billion kids made a human tower, they would stand up past the moon. If you sat down to count from 1 to 1 billion, you would be counting for 95 years. If you found a goldfish bowl large enough to hold 1 billion goldfish, it would be as big as a stadium. And if this book had 1 billion tiny stars, its pages spread side by side would stretch almost 10 miles. So if you had pages like this, end to end, that means touching one another, it would be almost 10 miles before you had 1 billion stars on the pages. But you know what? There's something even bigger than 1 billion. How tremendous is 1 trillion? If 1 trillion kids stood on top of each other, they would reach way, way beyond the moon. Beyond stars, or beyond Mars and Jupiter too, and almost as far as Saturn's rings. If you wanted to count from 1 to 1 trillion, it would take you almost 200,000 years. And if you put 1 trillion goldfish in a goldfish bowl, the bowl would have to be as big as a city harbor. If you put 1 trillion of our little stars onto a gigantic roll of paper, it would stretch all the way from New York to New Zealand. That's a lot of stars. So I hope you enjoyed reading this book, How Much is a Million, with me. It helps me to visualize these really big numbers that are hard for me to think about because we don't have things often that are in the millions and the billions and the trillions. So thank you for reading this with me. I hope you have a wonderful day.